Good Thursday evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Dirt Racing Network's live coverage of the Netcode Esports Mighty Midget Series, back in action after a short hiatus. I know they've been off for 5, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, but that's a pretty short hiatus for any group. These guys getting back at it with round number 1 here tonight from Lernerville. Got about 32 Mighty Midgets checked in for round number 1. A lot of new faces. Some of the old familiar ones. Tebow Brandon is here. See Craig Silby, the Kiwi Conqueror. Cole Cabry, new face to the series. Not a new face to the Dirt Racing Network, but a new face to the series. Dustin Mombarquette. That is a new face all around for me, and I hope I'm saying his name right because it's about 36 letters long, and I am not 100% sure. Good to be back on the air. Been off for a couple, 3 or 4 weeks anyway. Finished up a couple of seasons here back right around Christmas, first of the year, and it is good to be back. I know Zach has been holding things down on Sunday evenings. He has been the only thing going here on the Dirt Racing Network, but things starting to pick back up. Might see some PRO action on Tuesday nights. You never know. I know they're kicking back off. Their first week is next week. DSRL wrapping up their 2 seasons, the winged and the wingless 360 sprint cars. They'll be off until probably March, unless they decide to do some fender car action on Monday nights. American Dirt Series on hiatus for a while. Not sure what is going on with those guys. But about 3.5 minutes of practice left in this one. Double show tonight. They are going to run a regular full show right here all the way through the 30-lap A main. And then we are going to swap servers. And we are going to redraw inside the top 10 and come back and put a second feature right back on the track for you, so make sure you stay tuned in for everything. Say hi in the chat. Facebook. Go by the Dirt Racing Network's Facebook page. Like, share, and follow. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, or Trovo, make sure you hit subscribe. You'll get to know every single time we go live, and we just watch the driver die on live television right there. A lot of midget action in the month of January. If anybody has tuned in and watched or attended the Chili Bowl up in Tulsa, I went to a couple of nights, had a lot of fun, got to see some good racing. Make sure you share us around, let your friends know what you're checking out, wherever you're checking it out from. About time for opening ceremony, so let's go trackside right now for our opening ceremonies. When we come back, we'll have qualifying.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
And now, please welcome Pastor Sam Foley from Port Orange, Florida, to deliver tonight's invocation.
Father, we ask today that you protect and bless those who participate in this race. May they use good sportsmanship and respect for each other. And we'll thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, a big thank you once again to the Foleys. In 2023, we will be updating a lot of files. That is one of them we hope to update, so we hope that Reed Foley can get us a new copy before he makes it big in the country music world and is out on tour and really can't do anything with us. So we will wait with bated breath. Qualifying, rolling out onto the track. A lot of drivers already out here. I see John Borst is out on track. Reed Brochard, Cole Cabry was getting ready to roll it right there. Jerry Watkins. Watkins, a regular around the PRO Netcode Esports series. This right here, Reed Brochard. Brochard, the 93 car. You'll see he and David Krikorian's cars are a little similar. Red and white, but one is a 99, the other's a 93. This, the 93 car. See Casey Miller, the 05, on track. We'll watch the first lap here for Brochard. And then we'll move over here, and we will, maybe not. Maybe we won't change since it doesn't want to work. Let me see Cabry, the 71 car. Quickest to 15:42. Sean Hayes, second quick. That's a 15:48, almost a 15:49. Greg Silby, the Kiwi Conqueror, went to the top for a moment. Now he's coming out of 3 and 4, trying to get that second lap, and I don't know. That looked a lot slower. Yeah, it was a 15:52 compared to his 15:40, which was second quick. Cabry with a 15:36 to the top. David Krikorian. Now, Krikorian has changed his car to black and red for this season, it looks like. So it won't be so hard for us to tell those apart. Krikorian going to complete his first lap here. On the clock, and Krikorian only 20th quick at a 15:66. I'm sorry, 15:66. And then off the track in turn number 3, so that'll do that. Byron Gay rolls off the top of turn 2. He was 23rd quick. Only Ryan Hodge, D.L. Lemon, and Nate McMillan. And Nate McMillan, that's a name I haven't seen in quite a spell. It looks like he is, well, it looks like maybe he is not going to roll that car out and take time. So not sure what is going on there. Only a couple of cars had rolled. Alex McCollum in the 5th position. That's the one car. Right on the ragged edge up on top of turns 3 and 4. To the stripe and across, and still 5th quick. So looking like we are done with qualifying. We're going to get ready to roll down here and go through our starting lineups for our first heat race. Looks like we're going to do 5 heat races tonight. Just waiting for cars to start gridding up. Here they come. So we will show you that the 49 of Tebow Brandon is going to start on the pole next to Dalton Strum. Strum in the 88. The 09 of Sean Hayes inside row number 2. And he'll have Cole Cabry on his outside. Cabry, the 71 car. Brady Wagner, 728, inside row number 3, next to Jerry Watkins. Watkins in the 11. And shotgun on heat number 1, starting P7. That is going to be Trevor Edwards. Guys, don't be afraid to say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you got a favorite driver out there on the track tonight. Or if you just want to say hi, sure to do that. saw that on the way home last week that our good friend Jack Hewitt and his wife Jody had issues getting home. Their van caught fire on their trip and burned to the ground. So best wishes to them. Hope everything kind of works out for them. Let them know we're thinking about them right now. But we are ready to go green in heat number 1 here.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air. Brandon has shown himself many times to be extremely fast. Can come from just about anywhere in a pack. Saw a slider there from Schrum. Oh, Cabry. Cabry got into the back of Hayes' car, and it cost him a little. He gets back around Watkins through 1 and 2. We're going to go back towards the front here. Looks like it's going to be Brandon leading lap number 2. Schrum still second. Hayes has secured that 3rd spot. Cabry, Watkins, then Brady Wagner. And a little ways back, that's going to be Trevor Edwards. Right now, the 88 of Dalton Schrum, which looks like just a single 8 on that car, but they got him listed as the 88. He is trying to reel in Tebow Brandon, and Brandon having none of it. Very consistent laps. 15:48, 15:49. He has been the same lap time for the last 3 laps. We're coming around to 3 to go this time. It's a Brandon out in front. Right up to the top, right rear hanging halfway off the lip up there. He gets to the popsicle sticks. 2 to go that time by. Battle starting to shape up for 3rd right here. That is Cabry. Cabry with the cut down line. Out of 2, just not quite enough momentum. White flag coming out this time. Top 4 on the screen right there. That time, a little bit of a defensive line from Brandon goes in. Slider through 1 and 2. Oh, looks like Cabry took a shot. He went off the track out of 2. So it's going to be Brandon, Schrum, Hayes, and Cabry coming in 4th. Edwards, Watkins, and Wagner in behind that. So Tebow Brandon's going to open things up here in our Sim Racing Associates season opener for the Netcode Esports Mighty Midget Series, and he'll pick up the Heat 1 win. We'll get ready to show you the grid for Heat number 2. The 05 of Casey Miller on pole next to Austin Thiel in the 09. Miles Jansen just picked up a championship, his first ever at DSRL on Monday night for the Monday Night Thunder Series. He drives the 35 car. Start position 3 here in the Midget this evening. Billy Barros, another 38 car. You got to watch 38 car. Billy Barros, always fast everywhere we go. Every time we see him, he is quick. He'll start position 4 in heat number 2. And then Justin Collins in 94. He'll start inside row number 3 next to the 99 of Don Hunter and Ryan Hodge. Hodge, the 19, going to start out back for heat number 2 this evening. All right, pace truck is in. Green flag in the air. Heat number 2. Underway, Casey Miller. Used to seeing Miller. Oh, big problems in behind. That was Thiel that got out of shape, and Barros, but we just gave him the curse, and he goes for a ride out of turn number 2. So Barros going to end up back on pit road, and he will have to work his way out of the soup tonight to get into the feature. Jansen all the way up to second. Now going to slide out the top of turns 3 and 4. He's going to have to work to get the car back on the track. Gets it on right where you're supposed to in turn number 4, but he falls from 2nd to 5th, and he's right in front of Austin Thiel. Miller kind of having his way with things out in front right now. He's got about 0.6 of a second over Ryan Hodge. Hodge, remember, Hodge started shotgun, and he's already up to 2nd. Running that slider line, he's making it work because he's clipping a little bit off at each end of the track. And he is showing Miller that he's there every time he flashes into that left side opening. Now sticks it around the top. He's got it down to under 0.4 of a second. Down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Slider line. I don't know if he's going to get it all the way there. Miller crossed it over, but Miller had to check just a little, and that's what Hodge needed. Hodge needed for him to check up so he could make that run. Coming around to get the white flag this time. Hodge dropped the left front off in the grass. Miller closed up and caution. So, who was leading at the line the last time? I thought it was Casey Miller, but it may have been Hodge by a nose. As it looks like Justin Collins is the car that had an issue. The 94 car here. That's Jansen to the inside. Oh, they're going to touch. He's going to get crossed up. Jansen's going to go for a tumble, and Collins' car, none the worse for the wear. He is going to roll that thing off of. Well, maybe he's not. Justin Collins able to continue, but that car doesn't look like it's handling quite right. So only Miller, Hodge, Hunter, and Collins still on track. Thiel, Jansen, and Barros all parked out back, fixing things up for Soup. Restart, 2 laps to go. And Casey Miller was out in front. Now Ryan Hodge going right back at him again in 1 and 2. Miller's going to have to try the cut down line, see if he can use the momentum down the backstretch. Slider in 3 and 4. Miller tried to get the bite off the top side, but it was Hodge. Not much gap, but he had the lead. Miller goes way top shelf on the slider line out of 2. We're coming to the checks right here in 3 and 4. Can Miller make the cut down work and run the momentum? He does not get it done. Hodge wins it. Miller, Hunter, Collins. Then Thiel, Jansen, and Barros in heat number 2. So the grid for heat 3. We'll line up like this. The 6th car of Josh Cox will start on the pole. And Josh Gerlach, the Josh and Josh show, row number 1. That's the 71, the Netcode Esports machine. Old Garlic out on the front row. Robert Lynn, the 2 car, inside row number 2. Keep an eye on him. He has improved every season that we have had here on the DRN with Netcode Esports and gotten a little better each and every time, finishing closer and closer to the front every week. Craig Silby, the Kiwi Conqueror. He's going to start position number 4. And in your 3rd row will be Byron Gay on the inside in the 011. Next to the 00 of Don Runkle Jr. and DL Lemon in that 14 car way, way, way out in the back. All right, pace truck out of the way, heat number 3.
Green, green, green.
Green flag in the air, Cox. Pretty good start. He's going to grab the lead through 1 and 2. Here comes Gerlach. Here comes Lynn, Robert Lynn. That is the baby blue, white, and green car. Now drops to the bottom. Here comes Craig Silby. Silby goes around the top side. He takes 3rd away from Lynn. Now Silby's going to attack Gerlach. Goes down on the bottom in 1 and 2. Still there when they get to 3 and 4. Can he go 2 for 1 with the slider? I don't think he's got enough momentum. He does not. He will grab 2nd away from Gerlach. Wheel to wheel. Now the advantage off the top side goes to Silby. He's going to go on the attack, and he's going to chase down the 6 of Cox, and he probably won't waste a whole lot of time. He's going to play a little peekaboo here. Slider line in 1 and 2, goes in low, leaves enough room on the top side, but he's got the momentum. We should see a new leader coming out of turn number 4. Big, long, low slider. That time by it was Silby by 100th of a second. Byron Gay with some problems. We're going to stay right here as Silby now comfortably out in front. Gerlach went after Cox, and he didn't have enough to hold the position coming out of 4. Laps quickly winding down. Silby completely in control. 4-1 for Silby. 2 to go the signal. He's followed by Josh Cox, Josh Gerlach, Robert Lynn, and D.L. Lemon a distant 5th. Gay and Runkle both off track. But the Kiwi Conqueror coming out of turn number 4. White flag in hand for the starter. He shows it to the 13 car. It looks like Silby going to pick up another heat race win. In a midget, he'll be in the feature tonight. Josh Gerlach, Robert Lynn, D.L. Lemon finishing things out. Josh Cox had problems on that last lap there, and he will end up 5th. Byron Gay, Don Runkle. We're rounding out the heat race field. So we should have a 1 more heat to go, I think. 7 cars. They're gridding out. So we'll show you how they're going to start. It's going to be Josh Cottle, the 14 on the pole. It's actually the 13 car. The 13, it says 14 on the screen, 13 on the actual car. And next to him, that's going to be the 16 of Dustin Momberquette. Cameron Pritchard, the old gunslinger Cameron Pritchard. He's going to start row 2 inside next to Colton Snyder. Snyder has the 24 car. And then Josh Kosick start the 22 machine on the inside of row number 3 next to J.D. Laird. Laird in the 23 car. And Nate McMillan, the 024 car, is going to start out in the back 40 for heat number 5, the final heat of the evening, I believe. Laird right there. He's next to Kosick. Snyder, the 24. Pritchard in the 21. Lights out of the pace truck out of the way. Green flag in the air. Through 1 and 2, they were 4 wide. Pritchard up the hill, and Pritchard going to get Momberquette. He's going to give him the lead by getting into Cottle, and Pritchard off the backside. So it's Snyder now taking over the lead from Momberquette. Laird is going to go on the attack. He's going to try to take 4th away from McMillan, and McMillan's going to fight back on the inside on the exit of the corner. 5 to go this time by. A little bumpity bump to the tires right there between McMillan and Laird. Cottle has made his way back onto the track. He's about 3/4 of a lap down. He's in 3 and 4. The leaders are coming out at turn number 2. But Snyder got the lead after all of the mayhem on lap 1 or 2 there, and he has driven away almost 1 1/4 seconds. Ethan Huey, good to see you in the chat. Whoops, wrong button, folks. 3 to go, still Snyder. The battle right here is Laird and Momberquette. Good battle right now between these two. Snyder just driving away, 2 to go for him. But Laird in the 23, Momberquette in the 16 car. They're just Slider City right now. That time, Laird pretty much put the locks on. Going into 3 and 4, white flag in hand. It's all Snyder out in front. And now Laird easily going to secure that second spot. The attempted slider by Momberquette, it didn't work out at all. So Colton Snyder going to win the heat. Laird second, Momberquette third, McMillan fourth. And Josh Cottle, who had issues lap number 2, I think. He and Cameron Pritchard got together, and he is going to finish a very, very, very distant 5th place. Pritchard 6th, then Kosick shown in 7th. I think we got another heat race. That might have been heat race number 4. This might be heat race number 5. That is what it looks like. It's going to be David Krikorian, the 66 on a pole next to Jordan House. House in the 8. The 78 of Aaron Johnson starting inside row number 2. And you'll have Alex McCullum in the 1 car on his outside. And you'll see the 93 of Reed Brochart inside the final row next to John Borst. Borst will be in the 86 car. Why aren't you in here, Ethan? Why aren't you in here racing, buddy? So Ethan Huey in the chat, but I don't know where he is chatting us from. I'm surprised to not see him on the track right now. I am not seeing John Borst's car roll out on this lineup here. So the 86 of Borst not going to make it. It's going to be a 5-car race. Oh, copy that. Copy that. I would give you a lot of grief about that, Ethan, but I'm just going to leave it be. Well, man, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Make sure to like, share, and follow us wherever you're at. Let everybody know where you're watching. Thanks to everybody for tuning in with the final heat race of the evening. Under the green flag, David Krikorian, the 66 car, grabbing the lead from the pole out of turn number 2. But here comes House and McCullum. McCullum had a good run coming out of the top of 2, and he gets a good run into 3. Closes right up on House. He's going to go to the outside this time around. See if he can get that same run out of 2. He may have second. He does exactly that. So move Alex McCullum up P2. Jordan House back to 3rd. Aaron Johnson is in 4th. Johnson into that 1 car right there. Or the 78, excuse me. 78 machine. That's the yellow and white machine. He's in 4th, then Brochart. Borst is going to be scored in 6th, but he didn't make the call. Now we're going to have a battle for the lead around the top side. McCullum, the 1 car, once again with another great run out of the top of turn 2. He will take over the point coming to the 4 to go mark. Krikorian falls to 2nd. Johnson still 3rd, and a distant 3rd at that. And then Brochart. Brochart started 3rd, still running 3rd. McCullum started 4th, and he is at the point now. It seems like 4-1 is the way to go here tonight. It's been pretty easy for some of these guys. We saw Silby do it a couple of races ago. And McCullum's going to get the 2-to-go signal. House has had nothing but problems, and he is on the same straightaway with the leaders, but I think time will run out before they can lap him. So Alex McCullum off the top side, white flag, and a 1.7 second lead. Now battle for 2nd. Krikorian and Johnson starting to go at it. Krikorian went to the bottom, Johnson to the top. Johnson's going to cross over. Slider coming in 3 and 4. Can Krikorian cut down and get back to it? McCullum wins it. Johnson 2nd. Krikorian 3rd. Brochart and House 4th and 5th. So heat racing action in the bag now. 34 drivers have taken time. 34 drivers have run a heat race. We will get ready to jump into tonight's alphabet soup. With our C main. They're going to line up like this. Colt Cabry on the pole next to DL Lemon. Row 2, Brochart and Jansen. Then Caudill and Watkins in the 3rd row. Gay and Borst in row number 4. And Barrow scheduled to start out back. I don't know. I think Borst is actually admitting. I don't think he's actually racing. Maybe he's going to come out. There it is. There's the 86 car. He just missed his heat race, relegating him to being back in the C main, and he is going to be at the back of that C main. Billy Barros, the very last car, and he made a quick exit in his heat race off the top of turn 2, and we haven't seen him again since. That was heat 1 or heat 2 where we saw him. So, Lemon and Cabry. It'll be Cabry on the pole, Lemon on the outside. Kicking off the 2023 A season, Sim Racing Sim Racing Associates season opener for the Netcode Esports Mighty Midget Series, presented by netcodeshop.com and Extra Life. Pace truck will jump off the backside of turn number 3. And I'm not sure what DL Lemon is doing, but
Green, green, green.
he went out in the front. I don't know what that was about, but that is going to be a weird start for the whole field. Cabry, Brochart, Jansen are going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, contact. A lot of contact at the back. Byron Gay got the brunt of it. Lap 1 going to go to Cabry. So we watch Gay get back on the trap. Jansen up to second, needs to stay in the top 4 to transfer. Brochart and Jansen side by side. That's a battle for second and third. Your fourth spot, Cottle. He's got it for now. We'll see if he can hold it. 15:63, the last lap time for Cabry. Brochart trying to get back around Jansen. Brochart, the red and white 93 machine. Miles Jansen in that blue and white 35 car. Cottle now is broken away from the battle for 5th. And that battle is, going to have a tiny bit of contact, it looks like, as Barros and I believe that was Watkins maybe got together. No, it wasn't. It was DL Lemon. So Barros to 5th, and he's got some work to do. He needs to run down Josh Cottle. Still 4 laps remaining as your leaders in 3 and 4, and he almost dropped the right rear off the top of the track right there. Jansen, Brochart, Cottle, but Barros is now reeled him in, and he was really close in 1 and 2. And if he keeps using the slider, I think he's going to get closer and closer. Exactly 3 laps to get it done. More cars you pass here, the less you got to pass in the next one. Cabry, 2 to go, 1.5 seconds in front of Jansen. Jansen just about 4 or 5 car lengths in front of Brochart. And then the battle behind. That is going to be Cottle, Barros. Going at it for 4th and 5th. White flag coming out this time around. Barros is getting close. He's just not quite close enough. Might be on this one. It's going to be Cabry for the win. Jansen 2nd. Brochard 3rd. 4th and 5th, and that time Cottle covered the inside. He'll come home 4th. Barros is 5th. Borst, Gay, Watkins, and Lemon. Rounding things out. We'll get ready to move on to the B main. The B main 10 cars. Or maybe we have twins? No, it's a B main. Let's look at the lineup nonetheless. It's Collins and McMillan on the front row. Edwards and Cox, row 2. House and Thiel making up that 3rd row. Then Pritchard and Wagner, row 4. Runkle and Cossack rounding things out. Oh, that's not good. So the driver's rolling them out. Got 10 more laps. Guys ready to get at it. Here's the pace truck already off the racing surface. The 94 of Collins on the throttle, and he is getting at it. McMillan. Oh, there goes Collins. Collins out the window in turn number 2, and he is out of here. McMillan, Edwards 1-2. Cox and House battling side by side. Now they're going to cross each other over. A little too much down the hill. And it's going to do so because Cameron Pritchard's the one that went around down there in 3 and 4. And that is going to help Justin Collins get back in this thing if he's not broken, which that car looked like it was really rolling weird coming through 1 and 2. But Edwards had the lead. Let's go back and take a look. You're going to watch the 21 machine right here. End of the corner, you're going to see that 6 car off the top side is going to cut it down right there for the slider. And he didn't know, I don't believe, that Pritchard was right there. And when he went to do the crossover, he just clips that right front, and Pritchard quickly around in front of the field. Luckily, nobody hit him. So we'll get everybody kind of situated back out. I think that'll put that will be weird if it puts the 94 back at the front, Justin Collins. And that is a huge break for Collins because he went around and went outside the track in turn number 2, got the car back on the backstretch right about the time that caution came out, and he's going to put him back at the front of the field because we had not scored a lap. I thought the leader had already crossed the line before that all happened. Apparently that is not the case, so it is going to put Collins back in front, McMillan second, Edwards, Cox, House, Steele, Wagner, Runkle, Cossack, and now Pritchard at the back. The green flag comes back out, still 6 to go. A lot of jostling for positions back here as House and Cox go at each other. Cox is going to jump right off the back porch. Head outside in the backstretch down the hill back there. But McMillan grabs the lead. Edwards, House, Wagner, your top 4. Then Cossack in 5th. Thiel, Runkle, Pritchard, and Collins. Collins off the track again. And he just can't navigate turns 1 and 2 at all. So everybody showing a lap down to Cox. And Cox is off track, I believe. So this will start to shuffle back through. Cox took the car to the pit and he got scored for it before they got to the line. So everything working out now. McMillan, Edwards, House, Runkle, as we got Austin Thiel having an issue. Thiel off the top side. A little hot in 1 and 2 right front into the left rear. Apparently that's enough to trigger. There was enough right there when he brought it back on. The car tipped over. Little Tommy tip over. So, with 6 cars on the track, McMillan, Edwards, House, Wagner, Runkle, and Pritchard are those 6 cars. Cox, Steele, Cossack, and Collins. All over in the pit work area. Probably done for the evening. As we will still have 5 to go. When we get the restart here, this time out of turn number 4. So McMillan, I believe, was 3rd in his heat. And now leading the second B main. Green flag back in the air. Edwards still trying to hold down second, but here comes House. Not quite enough juice out of the 55 car. He'll hold on to 3rd. Pritchard up to 4th. Brady Wagner in that 5th spot right there. And then Don Runkle trying to put the 00 car in the show. Got to pick up a spot. Got a good run down the hill out of 2. Great race right here for the 5th spot. Runkle hanging on. Pritchard coming forward. Pritchard gets under House. Now House fighting back on the bottom side. Pritchard had 3rd. House going to try to take it back. Pritchard around the top side. Keeps the spot. Runkle's got 5th. Oh, Pritchard this time. Little hefty on the throttle, and he jumps out the window in turn number 2. He'll bring it back. Only about a lap to go as McMillan comes out of 4. Edwards, House, Runkle, and Wagner a long ways out in front of Cameron Pritchard. And McMillan's going to win the 2nd B main. Edwards 2nd, House, Runkle, and Wagner the top 5. Pritchard going to come up short this evening. Austin Thiel also, then Cox, Cossack, and Collins. So a lot of action, a lot going on. A little warm-up time for the drivers. Not sure how long they're going to give them. Drivers starting to roll out onto the track. Watching the 24 of Colton Snyder right now. Looks like drivers shutting them down. We're going to get ready to advance the session. And start the first of our 2 A mains tonight. Double feature time this evening. Driver's going to be giving some last-minute instructions right before they go on track for feature number 1. Remember, feature 2 will be coming up right behind, and these guys will do a random redraw inside the top 10. No more than 10 cars will be inverted for the second feature, but they're going to go right back on the track. They'll have a few minutes of warm-up to come in, work the track down a little bit. Let us finish up our interviews from race number 1. Get moved over to the server, get ready for race number 2. And then they will go straight into feature number 2, 21 drivers. odd number, but 21 of them. They're going to line up like this. It's going to be Tebow Brennan and Ryan Hodge on your front row. Craig Silby and Colton Snyder in row 2. Alex McCollum, Dalton Schrum filling in the third row. Your fourth row, Casey Miller and Josh Gerlach. Row number 5, J.D. Laird and Aaron Johnson. The sixth row, Sean Hayes and Don Hunter. Then Robert Lynn and Dustin Mumberket in row number 7. The eighth row will be David Krikorian and Cole Cabry. Nate McMillan and Miles Jansen. Making up a row 9, Trevor Edwards and Reed Brochart in row 10. And Jordan House will be the 21st starter alone on the very back row. Just under 4/10 of a mile, the Clay Oval. 30 laps, double feature. This is feature number 1. Drivers roll them out onto the racing surface. Lap or 2 to get them all aligned to back up where they're supposed to be as they come on almost single file. They'll get them all straightened out. Tricky track, no outside wall. If you're going to run on the very top, you got to be very careful. The right rear hangs over too far and it will pull you right up and over the berm and into a Neverland. But lights are off on the pace truck. I think we're getting ready to go green. Don't really know what these front two, maybe next time around. All right, looks like everybody getting double filed up, ready to go to the green. Craig Silby with an issue, and he's back to pits. I'm not sure what's happening there. Last year, we watched Silby start like a house of fire here. As once again, caution is extended. I think they are waiting for that the 13 car of Silby. He is supposed to start inside of row number 2. Have not released him yet, so I'm sure we'll probably go around one more time. Maybe not. Maybe not. They're going to go ahead and let that pace truck jump off. Probably let Silby rejoin the action once he is released from the pit. The green flag's in the air, feature number 1. Opening night for the Sim Associates.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Oh, Netcode Esports Mighty Midget Series, and we're off to a rough start already. Let's see. Was that for Silby? It looks like he is just rolling out. He may... When he came out, he may stop right, and that's just a little too far. Too close to the track. So that'll slow things down. That's what happened. He got just a little bit out and passed. So we'll see. I don't know if it left him on the lead lap or not. It may have. But he'll have to move all the way to the back of the field. They're trying to get to the pace truck, I believe. The end of the field's coming up behind. So I believe, well, maybe not. I'm not sure where these guys are going to be lining up. Schrum and Hodge are at the front. It's showing everybody from 19th on back right now. A lap down. Maybe it's going to fix itself now that everybody's hit timing and scoring loop, maybe in the correct position. So we'll just wait and see how they're going to realign. I think Sylvie's going to have to probably wave around and get to the back of the field, or he will be a lap down. Just waiting to see how they're going to get them all lined up and get ready to go back there. I'm sure they're going to extend the caution. So. I think they're getting them in order. Looks like the lights are off on our pace vehicle. He is going to move to the top side of turn 3, drop off the banking on the outside. Dalton Schrum going to bring us back to ground. I think everybody's back where they're supposed to be. Maybe Silby is a lap down here.
Green, green, green.
The green flag back in the air. Oh, no, we're going to wait. We are going to wait. Hold them up. Green flag flew, but we are going to pace. I think the timing of that caution was really strange because half the field was past the pace truck, half the field was not. Right now, I'm showing Silby a lap off the pace for sure. Now we're going to go green. Let the leader get things started. And we've got drivers all over the place and everything. Now Silby back on the lead lap, showing the driver into the 13 car to be 100% on the same lap as the rest of the field. Battle for the lead. Hodge going after it in the 19 car. Slider in line 1 and 2. He'll have the spot down the backstretch into 3 and 4, and we'll see if Hodge can hang on, get to the line. He does. Schrum second. Laird is third. McCullum up to the 4th spot. Those top 4 have a little bit of a breakaway from the rest of the field. Johnson in 5th, Cabry in 6th, and Brandon in 7th. Hayes, Gerlach, Lynn through the top 10. No. Little wobble right there from Laird as he found that berm down the front stretch along the only stretch of wall around the outside of this track. And Hodge right here, right up on the top of the cushion. Almost over it as half the tire was hanging off that time in 1 and 2. Right up to the top side, just a little bit from slipping over the edge.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Caution
is out.
behind. Looks like Aaron Johnson maybe has a problem. So Johnson, the yellow 78 car, drops all 4 tires off the exit, or off the top side of 3 and 4, excuse me, comes to the pit exit and stop the car just enough that it triggers the caution flag. All considered racing surface right there. And so if you stop there, you are in the way, and they will throw a caution each and every time. So Hodge, Schrum, McCollum, Laird, Cabry, Brandon, Hayes, Marquette, Lynn, and Gerlach, your top 10. Then Miller, Hunter, McMillan, Schneider, Edwards, Jansen, Silby, House, Brochart, Krikorian, and Johnson. Ryan Hodge bouncing around like Christmas lights. Looks like we're ready to go back to green. 22 laps to go. The Sim Racing Associates season opener for the Netcode Esports Mighty Midget Series. And still Ryan Hodge in front. Schrum, Laird. And Laird and McCullum starting to get at it a little bit here. Laird is hanging it on the bottom. McCullum is up on the top. And McCullum, with all that momentum, he just loses so much ground, taking a long way around. This time, side by side, as Laird had a problem off the bottom of turn 4. And McCullum is going to bring Cabry along with him. Those two pretty much in lockstep around the top of this place. 71 car now makes a move to get into 4th. Laird starting to slip back. He's going to have to get to the top side, and he does, down in 3 and 4, but he's all the way back to 5th. Out of the window, that was Schrum. And Schrum going to get her slowed down. He stops over there in 3 and 4. Same thing that happened to the car in front of him, Aaron Johnson. That triggers the caution. We're on our 3rd. They've all really been pretty innocent, actually. They've all been for exactly the same thing. Someone stopping up there on that little apron, entry apron right there in turn number 4. So all Ryan Hodge at this point. Hodge just got out front. He's keeping the 19 car there. Hope everybody's enjoying the show. Make sure that you say hi in the chat. I don't care where you're watching from. YouTube, Twitch, Trovo. Well, Trovo maybe not, because Trovo still hasn't gotten their trad attached to us. But Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Make sure you say hi if you got a favorite driver. Make sure you're shouting them out. Give them some love. They're putting on a heck of a show for you. Double feature tonight, guys. They'll finish the next 16, 17 laps of this one, and then we're going to rack them back up. Maybe have a redraw inside the top 10. Maybe not. And they're going to do 30 more laps for you. Light should go off on the pace truck of this time around as Ryan Hodge gets right up under the back of it. They do not, as we have some cars still out of place. Back through the field. Make sure you tune in Sunday night. Midwest Dirt Racing Series. Zach Krieger. On to the call every Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern. Those guys put on a great show. They are a ton of fun to watch. So I think we've got everybody where they're supposed to be. Lights off on the pace truck, getting them single filed up down the backstretch, nice and tight. Hodge, McCullum, Cabry. 1, 2, 3 right now. Ready to get back after it. Green flag back in the air. 17 laps remaining in feature number 1. For tonight's double feature Thursday. McCullum still second. Cabry right there. McCullum and Cabry followed each other through. Up to the top 3 here. They've stayed in lockstep. They're doing it again. Hayes is now 4th. Brandon 5th. Brandon's under fire. Laird is trying to work back around him. Laird has done nothing but slip backwards since the second start of this thing. Hanging on to 4th right now, or 5th, excuse me. And then Brandon trying to work around. There's Robert Lynn. Lynn almost 4 wide as he had Casey Miller down the inside. A slip from Laird again. Laird going to lose 1, probably going to lose 2, as Lynn may have enough to hang on. and take the 6 spot away. Robert Lynn, the 2 car. Oh, big slider came flying in there from Craig Silby, and he really had to find the binders. Kept it out of Hunter's tail tank and caution. Not really sure what this is. We're going to go back. Is it Sean Hayes? Did Sean Hayes crash? Yes, he does. He got into it there. Bomber Kit is part of it as well. I think he just goes off the track trying to avoid some of this somehow. Oh yeah, he has a little contact there, and he ends up outside too. So yeah, a lot was going on in that one. So we'll get them back around here. It's still Hodge, McCullum, Cabry, 1, 2, 3. Brandon in 4th. Lynn is 5th. Laird 6th. Miller, Hunter, Silby, Momberquette. Momberquette, the caution must have come out before he had his contact, because he's back inside the top 10. He would have been at the back of the field if it was for him. So good break for Dustin right there. We're back under green. Hodge still out in front of the battle now, starting to shape up. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th starting to get at one another, and Robert Lynn made it 3 wide and 3 and 4. Went to the bottom and lost all the momentum. Brandon working on McCullum, wasn't able to clear. McCullum used the high side and all the momentum to keep 3rd.
All right, man.
Caution behind. And this time, I think we're going to find J.D. Laird has a problem. Laird, the 23 car. Oh, went to turn in. Car was coming up the hill. Oh, he got pounded. Head on right there. So caution 5, and finally a little bit of contact starting to go on. We're down to 10 to go. So 2/3 of this thing is over before we got any real contact between drivers. And not a whole lot's changed at the front. It's still Hodge. Then it's Cabry 2nd, McCullum 3rd. Brandon,
right,
Lynn.
Like you back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
Caution getting extended drivers out of position again. So they'll get them all fixed up, lined up, squared up. And get them back going. So Lynn was 6th, then Miller, Silby, and Craig Silby really started 18th. I know it's going to say that he started about 11th, but he missed the start, had to roll the car out, was 18th when we finally got the green flag. And now he is up to 7th. McMillan is 8th, Snyder and Momberquette still hanging on to 10th. Gerlach, Jansen, Strum, Brochart, Krikorian, and Hayes are rounding out the rest of the field. We're ready to get it back to green. Ryan Hodge bringing us back to it. 10 laps to go right here. Green flag back in the air. First and second, Hodge and Cabry, pretty good jump. They opened up a gap over McMillan in 3rd. McMillan under fire. Brandon was to the inside. Robert Lynn is right there. Just not quite enough momentum yet. Craig Silby down on the very bottom, trying to work his way inside the top 5. Now, Lynn gets a run on Brandon. Brandon going to try to work back inside, a little bit of a slider line, tiny bit of contact, opens the door. Silby going to take advantage, go 2 for 1. He moves from 6th to 4th. Contact behind. Robert Lynn is in it. Caution.
Caution is out.
get back to it. We'll go back and take a look. Robert Lynn was in this battle. Sylvie's there. Tebow Brannon's right there. They're going to get down here. Casey Miller is right in behind. Into the corner. Miller got a pretty good run. Miller comes up, puts a little wheel-to-wheel action. That starts a chain reaction. I think Gerlach got in it. Couple of cars into that one. So let's find our 19 car here. Where is the 19 car? There's Hodge. A lot of guys are out of position right now. Things really, really mixed up. So Hodge, Cabry, McCollum, Brandon, Sylvie, your top 5. Then Miller, 6th. McMillan, Jensen, Snyder, and still Monbarquette in 10th. Looks like the lights are out on the safety vehicle. We're going to go back to green. 7 laps to go. 16 cars still on the track. All 16 still on the lead lap.
Green, green, green.
Green flag back in the air. Hodge and Cabry. Cabry went for it. That was quick, fast, and furious right there. Hayes, I think, is going to get into something here. And I don't think he's going to really be the start of it. Yep, got up the backside of the 93 of Brochart. And he went for a ride right there. Best we can say. So I'm sure Hodge is asking what's a brother got to do to finish a race. Aaron Johnson's still on track. He's a lap down. Robert Lynn is a lap down. Robert Lynn just took his car to the pits. He is no longer on the track. So still 15 drivers on the lead lap. 6 laps remaining. Green flag back in the air. Hodge protected the inside. Good lead. He is about a half a second already, which that's quite a few car lengths over Cabry, but Cabry went slider line. Didn't really close up much. Going to go for it again here. Really sent the car into 1 and 2. It's going to stay about 6/10. Sylvie now up to 3rd. The Kiwi Conqueror closing in quick. 4 laps to go. Caution behind Laird and Hayes. Looks like they've gotten together. 23 car. And the 09 right here. And one coming up, one coming down. Stay locked up on one another. So we'll have 3 to go with Hodge, Cabry, Sylvie, Brandon, and McCullum, the top 5. Mal Jansen up to the 6th spot. He started deep in this field around 17th, 18th. And he has made his way inside the top 6. Snyder, Miller, McMillan, and Monbarquette. Monbarquette has been 10th for better than half this race. Hasn't gone forward, hasn't gone back. No matter what's happened right in front of him, he has stayed about 10th place. Single file them up. Going to be 3 laps to go. We take the green. Cabry, right there. He gives a little shot in the push bar to the 19 of Ryan Hodge. Hodge, not quite the big start we've seen the last couple restarts. But he'll get through 1 and 2 with the lead. Silby tightly in tow, and so is Brandon. Those four have gotten away from the battle for 4th and 5th, or excuse me, 5th and 6th. There's contact. Caution coming out one more time. As Alex McCollum is going to get turned around. He and Miles Jansen are side by side into 3 and 4. Jansen's not the one that got him. Wow, it was the 24 car of Colton Snyder that ends up ultimately colliding with Alex McCollum. So McCollum off into the pits, and we'll have a 2-lap shootout. Hodge, Cabry, Silby, Brandon, Jansen still the top 5. Waiting for them to turn the lights off on the pace truck. Ready to get us back to green flag racing.
Green, green, green.
Out, 2 laps to go. Hodge, Cabry, Silby, Brandon, Jansen through 1 and 2. Everybody on the bottom. The white flag coming out for Ryan Hodge. About 8 car lengths that time by. It looks like Ryan Hodge probably going to win the season opener if he can manage turns 3 and 4. Right here, he does exactly that. Put the checks across the 19 of Ryan Hodge. Cabry in second, and the Kiwi Conqueror, Craig Silby, with a good recovery after a bad start to the night. He starts dead last and drives it all the way to 3rd. Now, on the scoring sheet, it will show started 3rd, finished 3rd, but we know he was as far back as 18th to 21st, and he manages to make it all the way home. Hodge already in the chat. See if Silby makes it in. We'll give him just a minute, because we know we got to go to the other. Well, let's do this. Let's jump over here. Let's try to talk to Ryan Hodge real quick. Ryan Hodge, you got a copy?
Yep.
See you moving around out there. Looks like you're trying to get to the podium, but season opener, man, you bring home the checkered flags. Tell us about your feature this evening.
Car felt great. I mean, we were struggling with knowing the line because the track just kept moving. Went from top to slider to bottom. It was a really good track there at the end and good race.
Yeah, it looked like, not really too much in the way of challenges except for on them restarts, and you were getting some pretty good restarts. Cabry got up there close. Did you know he was there, and do you know how close he was?
Yeah, I could just hear him. I mean, he got really good restarts that whole race. The guys, like my spotter, was telling me that he was getting me on the restarts, so just protect the line on the bottom, and just worked out to win it.
Well, a great way to start the season. What are you looking for, even if we get a redraw in race number 2?
Just typically like trying to get a good starting position for that race because this track's kind of hard to pass when it's one lane and yeah.
All right, man. Well, a great run. Some shout-outs real quick before we let you prep up for race number 2.
Like to shout out Dylan Baldwin at Slick Race Graphics, Competition Transmission Gear, Top Bottom Industries, Dalton Shrimp Photography, Ironman Motors, CSI Shocks, and just everyone.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us. Good luck in race number 2.
Thank you.
Your winner in tonight's first feature, Ryan Hunt. Doesn't look like we're going to get a chance to talk to Cole Cabry, but we will get a chance to talk to the Kiwi Conqueror. Craig Silby. Still putting him on the podium. Craig, hey, what happened at the beginning of the feature tonight?
Oh, that was just my mistake. I was busy trying to sort out the restart order because they changed the order with that redraw thing, and we were talking about that, and I missed the start.
Gotcha. We were like, he started somewhere between 18th and 21st, but he was really supposed to start third, and you weren't out there, and I think they tried to hold things up, and then eventually you did make it out. How hard was it coming through the field this evening? Because that's a pretty monumental run to make up 18 spots like that.
Oh yeah, thank you, mate. That was I'd started. I was supposed to start in P2, grid 2, but that didn't happen. So it made it a whole lot more interesting and a whole lot of fun. I was trying really hard to learn how these other guys were driving because some of them I haven't raced before, and it was just a matter of slowly but surely work my way forward.
Well, a great run. What are you looking for? And the redraw for race number 2.
Look for EOL. Do it all again.
Well, if you do, we'll definitely keep the camera trained on your car and see how far you can make it back up. Maybe make another one of them 18 position runs. But a great run tonight, man, in race number 1. Give us a quick set of shout outs before we let you head off for race 2.
Thanks very much, Roger. Yeah, thanks again to Netcode Esports and putting this series on. It's a fantastic series. I'm looking forward to it. It's a good turnout. So hopefully these guys stick with it right through the whole series. And thanks to the Dirt Racing Network for broadcasting it to the world to see. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
All right. Thanks for chatting with us and good luck in race 2. Craig Silby finished third. Cole Cabry did finish in the second spot, but not going to get a chance, I guess, to talk to Cole. So we'll see what he does in race number 2. That is going to do it for race number 1. I am going to give you guys, I am going to force you to listen to some of the pre-race music because I don't have a second card loaded up here. So we'll get a little bit of music going. We'll let it sit here and play. When we come back, second feature as we switch servers in a really, really fast pace here and try to get things going. But we'll be right back. All right, guys, they are in practice. We are going to let them run around for a couple of minutes. They're going to do a modified system for qualifying the guys through. When we come back in just a moment, we'll have that for you, but we'll let you watch a few of these guys roll around out here on the track. You may see some guys in the feature second time around that you didn't see in the first. With the way they're going to do this, we'll fill you in on the details in about 2 minutes. All right, word from race control is we will have 2 heats, top 8 from each of those 2 heats. We're going to go straight to the feature, and then 1 LCQ, top 6. We'll get in. We'll have 22 cars for that AMA. So some drivers who had bad luck in the first go-around may have a shot to get in the feature in the second go-around here. We're going to advance it here in just a couple of minutes. Maybe about 3 or 4 minutes. They want to give the guys a chance to work the track in just a little bit. Not put things out there too early. Appreciate everybody hanging around. Be another good part of this show coming up. Drivers just working the track in for feature number 2. They do double features every week. It's going to be just like this. If they can keep their car counts up, we're going to have the same modified second show that we did on the first. I think we had a couple last season, guys that swept the night. I think Craig Silby was one of those guys. Swept the night. And I'm looking for that 19 car. Going through the entry list here. And unless I'm blind, I do not see the race 1 winner in this second session. There he is. Ryan Hott just now popped into the list. So there's a driver who had a bad first go around, the 38 of Billy Barros. See if he can turn his luck around and get into the second feature of this evening. Josh Gerlach. Gerlach just now rolling down the approach onto the track. Did not have a very good first go around, but looking to bounce back in round number 2 and put it into the second feature. They're trying to work the track close to the state that it was for feature number 1. The track was very racy, and the guys were able to use both lines pretty well. You're always going to have that little extra something off that top line, especially with these little cars, because the more you can keep them wound up, keep them in the power band, the more you get out of them. So they're always going to do that off the top side, but the guys off the bottom were able to do a little bit of work and pick up some spots. We saw some pretty good passes. So they want to get the track state back as close as they can before we start the heat, so we can see if we can have that racy track as the 17 laps or 17 cars with a very limited amount of laps. It's going to be hard to find places to pass. So they stuck them all together. I don't see 17. I see 12. I'm not sure how we're going right now. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to cheat a little bit. It's going to be Lemon and Jansen at the front, but we're going to cheat. I don't do this very often. But right now, I feel like I don't have a choice. I got to go in here and look. So these two top 8 and then the Consi. That's what we're going to do, folks. So, okay. It was right. I just think the car counts might be a little wrong. Maybe they didn't get everybody in that they wanted. Doesn't matter. It's still going to be Lemon and Jansen row 1, Borst and Runkle row 2, Lynn and Krikorian row 3. Eek, that one won't go away. Just hide. Thank you. Marquette and Watkins in the 4th row. McMillan and Cox in row number 5. And the final row, Pritchard and Thiel. 8 of these guys are going to transfer automatically. Then we'll do it again with the second heat. That'll lock 16 guys in. We'll find 6 coming out of what is remaining. Put 22 cars and go 30 times around for feature number 2. First 3 cautions in feature number 1 were no contact. The last 3 had just a little bit of contact in them. But right now, DL11, Miles Jansen on the front row. Green flag about to fall. Only 10 laps.
Green, green, green.
And Jansen found a little momentum. Going to grab the lead. 11 already under fire. Runkle trying to work to the top side.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Caution
is
behind.
out.
That's going to be John Borst. In turns 1 and 2, I think. Borst, the extra life machine with the big pink stripe down the back. Oh, he got the car way out of shape. He finds Robert Lynn. Good tumble. Out the back door he goes. So a little bit of an auspicious start to the modified session. Lemon, Jansen, Runkle, Watkins, Marquette, McMillan, Lynn, and Krikorian in those top 8 positions. Pritchard, Thiel, Cox, and then Borst out and back. There's your pace truck. Here comes John Borst rolling around the back. Cox is going to line up in front of that. Thiel, Pritchard, McMillan, Krikorian, Lynn, Watkins, Mombarquette. All the way up to Lemon, but the 86 car luckily able to continue at all. Pretty durable little machine there. All right, lights off on the pace truck, ready to go back to green. The first of 2 qualifying heats in a modified second session here on Sim Racing Associates opening night for the Netcode Esports Mighty Midget Series. Already had one feature. This
Green flag, green flag.
the preliminary rounds for feature number 2, and the green flag back in the air on the first of those 2 maximum qualifiers. And right now, Lemon trying to hold off Jansen, and it's just not going to happen. Miles Jansen just a little too strong down the backstretch and into 3 and 4. He grabs the lead out, heads down the front stretch. 8 laps remaining. Lemon still second. Runkle trying to work on here, and here comes Robert Lynn. Lynn had a little contact in that first lap incident. Looks like the car is okay as he hangs on to fourth. Krikorian, Mombarquette, Watkins, and McMillan, and that was a 3-wide battle right there. Right now, Cameron Pritchard. The all-black car, we put the camera on him, and Cameron Pritchard goes for the loopy-loop. And Cameron Pritchard did not have good luck in round number 1 this evening. And looks like that streak is bound to continue for right now anyway, as he will go to the back, and he'll have about 7 laps to try to get himself in the top 8. Otherwise, he is going to work out of the LCQ and try to work his way into the 22 car A main. So he had to do it the first time around. It looks like he may have to do it the second time around. And for the former and defending American Dirt Series 360 Wing Sprint Car champ, the Midget, proving to be a handful and a challenge for him, especially here this evening. So Jansen bringing us back to green.
Green, green, green.
6 laps remaining. Back here and watch towards the back. That's Cox right in front of, and then Borst right in front of that. And he tried to split the difference. Did Pritchard. He's going to take one of the spots as he goes across the nose of the 6 of Josh Cox. Pritchard into ninth. And caution. Oh my goodness, that was a big one. Well, let's see. Is that Nate McMillan that's in the middle of this? It sure looks like it. McMillan, the 24 car. Oh, yeah, and he clipped Krikorian. Krikorian went for a tumble. So Krikorian going to catch back up. It's Jansen, Runkle, Lynn, Mombarquette, Watkins, Pritchard, Cox, and Thiel, the top 8 right now. These guys getting at each other pretty good. Close quarters racing in a little twitchy car like the Midget. You're bound to have a little contact, and usually that contact leads to very big incidents. So green flag coming out, 4 laps remaining in the first qualifier. Go back here where the action's been happening. That's around 5th on back. They were 3 wide. Cox, McMillan, and Borst, and those two, McMillan and Borst, make contact. Thiel off the backside. He's going to head for the pits. He'll just wait and take his run. Oh, contact here. There's cars around Mombarquette. Dustin Mombarquette. Black car. Right against the outside wall. He's going to go into the middle. Robert Lynn, a little sideways. There's some contact. I think Cameron Pritchett may have got a little piece of that. So, fresh track. A fresh look at things. The guys have already been out once through a whole show. They kind of know where they're at, and yeah, I think we are seeing some bravery out of a few drivers. Well, right now it looks like Jansen, then Lynn, Runkle, Mombarquette up to fourth, Watkins, Cox, McMillan, and Borst in the top 8, Krikorian, Thiel, and Pritchard. All outside the automatic transfer spots looking in. If those 4 cannot improve, they will have to go through the LCQ this evening. So we go back to green with just 2 laps to go. Mombarquette really aggressive on his entries. Really checking the car down. Got cars getting together. That's Cox and McMillan. We're close to it. We're looking a little closer to the back here. There's John Borg. Blue car with the pink stripe. There went Cameron Pritchett. Pritchett going to go for a ride out the side window down in 1 and 2. He'll go through the LCQ, but it's going to be Jansen taking the first spot. Then Lynn, Runkle, McMillan, Watkins, Mombarquette, Borst, and Cox taking your automatic spots into the A main. Thiel, Krikorian, Pritchard, and Lemon all going to come out of that LCQ. There's 6 spots up for grabs. We should have 8 drivers. So only 2 drivers are going to get knocked out of this evening's second 30-lap A main. We will get ready to go down. Look at the grid for heat number 2, which is our second maxi qualifier. It's going to be Josh Gerlach, Sean Hayes on row 1. Then Jordan House and Ryan Hodge in row 2. Hodge, the feature number 1 winner this evening. We'll see if he can sweep tonight. Johnson and Brannon making up a row 3. Laird and Brochart in row 4. Miller and Silby row 5. And the final row in our 2 maxi qualifiers, that's going to be Barros and Wagner. Top 8 transfer through. The other 4 will join the 4 from qualifier number 1. Oh, that is just terrible. And they will race for 6 spots to try to get into tonight's second A feature. You got to be kidding me. That's better. Oh boy, we got to go get a look at this. That is Jordan House. Different car for race 2. And I don't know how you'd ever miss that car out on the track. That is, well, that's busy. That's all I can say about that. Right now, I'm saying Casey Miller in the 05 car did not make the call. So a perennial front runner and multi-time champion with the Netcode Esports PRO series does not make it to his qualifier for feature number 2. We're going to give these guys 10 laps. Top 8. Passing straight on through. Everybody else to the LCQ. The green flag is in the air. Gerlach goes to the top side. He's going to grab the lead. Hayes slides into second. Hodge up to third and moving. 2 for 1 slider, and Hodge is blinking pretty good. It's going to be hard to follow him. He'll have the lead coming out of 4. He leads lap number 1. Cut down line. Gerlach drives it off the top side of 2. He'll bring it back on down the back stretch. He'll fall all the way to 11th first.
All right, man, caution is out.
Oh, big contact down here. I think Billy Barros. And Barros has had nothing but trouble all night long, and we're not used to seeing that out of Billy. But the 38 car up around the top. There's Craig Silby, the 7. Oh, car sideways, and that was the aforementioned Jordan House. He was sideways, so that is what happened to Barros. Barros is going to restart in 10th, it looks like. House 11th. It'll be Ryan Hodge. He's just picking up right where he left off. Gerlach is going to be saved by the bell. He went off the track in turn 2, and he had fallen all the way back to 11th. Caution came out before the lap completed, so he's going to get second back by virtue of us falling back to the previously scored lap at the line. And he will make up a 9 positions right there. And get back into the second spot. Hayes third, Brandon, Lair, Johnson, Silby, and Brochart. As Hodge blinking really bad. I think they're going to move Ryan Hodge to the back of the field because he's blinking so bad. They're going to make him get that all fixed up. He went all the way to the lead. As the green flag is going to come back out. Gerlach out in front with Hayes in tow. Here comes Brandon off the bottom. Caution, Billy Wagner. Right after the restart, Billy Wagner. That's the purple card. Right in the middle right there. Goes into 1 and 2. Ooh, yeah. He overcooked the entry pretty good. And Barros once again finds himself in trouble as he makes contact. Waiting for everybody to get around as Hayes is going to have to actually go catch the lap up. He's going to have to swing all the way around, get the pass by. From behind the pace truck, catch the back of the field. It's Gerlach out in front. Billy Wagner, the car I was speaking of a second ago, not Sean Hayes. Gerlach first, Hayes second, Brandon, Laird, Johnson, Silby, Brochart, House, Hodge, Barros, and Wagner. It looks like Hodge still having problems. Yeah, he might have the blinking under control. It looked like he was blinking under pace, so he's back into a spot where maybe he can grab one of the transfer positions.
Green, green, green.
Gerlach, we're going to back the green, 7 laps to go. Gerlach, Hayes, Brandon, 1, 2, 3 as they come out of turn 2, and Brandon got a pretty good bite off the bottom, but not enough to go. Here goes a slider for the lead, Sean Hayes. Going to grab the top spot, 6 laps to go. Gerlach will come right back after him. Gerlach, pretty good run off the bottom, just not enough to get clear. Now goes for the slider 3 and 4, brings it up late. Who's it going to be at the line? Gerlach. Hayes takes it back in 1 and 2. Gerlach with a slip. Brandon goes by, so move Gerlach to third. Here comes Silby. And he's got J.D. Laird on the top side hounding him. Right now, House in 8th. Jordan House hanging on to the final direct transfer spot, but Billy Barros looking to take it away. These two have already had contact once this evening in this race. 3 to go. Watching the transfer spot. There's Ryan Hodge. Hodge now went 2 for 1, and he takes the spot away. Cut down between cars. He's going to go way inside. Barros had the spot. Hodge is going to stay locked into the bottom slider line in 1 and 2. Put Hodge to 8th. Great battle for the final transfer spot. Tiny bit of contact. That's going to move House to the top of the track and off. Barros now has 9th. He's still chasing Hodge. Back to the front of the white flag lap. It looks like Hayes is going to pick up the win. He'll go to the feature and he'll drag Josh Gerlach, Craig Silby, Tebow Brennan, J.D. Laird, Reed Broshot, Aaron Johnson, and Ryan Hodge. Directly along with him, Barros, Wagner, House, and Miller are going to have to work through that LCQ. That LCQ is lining up right now. It'll be Thielen and Barros in row number 1. Krikorian, Wagner, row 2. Pritchard and House, row 3. And Lemon and Miller in a row number 4. 6 cars transfer through, 2 drivers. Sorry about your luck. Come back and try again next week. And Casey Miller going to make the call for this LCQ. It looks like Austin Thiel having a problem. There's Cameron Pritchard rolling out. Krikorian, we'll see how many we got. It looks like we're only going to have 6. So these 6 drivers already locked in. Austin Thiel, DL Lemon. And not making the call. They're going to miss feature number 2. So these 6 guys right here.
Green flag, green flag.
10 laps. You're all going to transfer. You're just racing for your final starting spot in tonight's second 30-lap AMA. They're underway. Oh, crap. I don't know how I got that turned back on. Wow, we missed the first 2 because somehow when I turned off the DRN logo, I must accidentally press the same button twice. Turned it right back on. Well, there's nothing like watching it on the radio, guys. And right now, we're in the LCQ. David Krikorian grabs the lead with 8 laps to go. Pritchard right there off the bottom, and Cameron Pritchard back to the front as he surges by in 3 and 4. He'll lead this lap. 2 wide behind that. Barros and House are side by side. Those 2 found a lot of action with one another in their qualifier just a few minutes ago, and they're racing side by side right here. Good grouping, your top 4. 6 laps to go. House right through the middle. Barros tried to go to the bottom. He's got the spot now by half a car, make him 3rd. Krikorian still 2nd. Pritchard is in the lead for Pritchard. Good run for him. Started 5th. He's up to the point, and he's about 0.6 of a second ahead with 4 laps to go. Here comes Casey Miller. Miller started out back in the 3rd row. Now going to go to the top side. Can he clear House out of 2? He does. Move him to 4th. House is 5th. And Brady Wagner, a distant 6th. They come down the backstretch and into 3 and 4. It'll be 2 to go this time by. Pritchard just over 0.6 of a second out in front of David Krikorian and Billy Barros. Here comes Casey Miller, and Miller making a lot of distance up really quickly here. He's all the way up to 3rd as he just passed Barros. White flag in the air. Krikorian all the way to the top, finding out if the very, very edge up by the fluffy stuff is going to work for the feature tonight. Pritchard, Krikorian, Miller, Barros, House, and Wagner all going to the AMA, and they finish that way in the LCQ. Thiel and Lemon, their night is over. Won't see them again As the drivers will get ready, they'll have a couple of minutes of warm up here, and then we'll get ready for tonight's second 30-lap A main. That button's sticking. I'm going to find out if that button was just sticking or what the deal was, folks. So I'm going to press that again and see what happens. And no, it's not sticking. I don't know. Maybe I fat-fingered it and pressed it twice. Sorry about the blank screen there for just a little bit. But the feature is what is going to be important this evening, and these guys are going to be ready to get to it. A lot of no warm-up. So the guy's not going to warm up. They're going to get ready to go straight at it. All right, got that figured out. We are ready to go. Let's show you the lineup. Jansen and Hayes, Lynn and Gerlach. That's your first two rows. Row 3, Runkle and Silby. McMillan and Brannon in row 4. Watkins and Laird, the fifth row. Bombarquette and Johnson in row number 6. Borst and Brochart making up row 7. Cox and Hodge in row number 8. There's your race 1 winner. Feature number 1 this evening went to the 19 car. He's starting P16 in our second feature tonight. Then Pritchard and Krikorian in the 9th row. Miller and Barros in row 10. House and Wagner row 11. And Thiel and Lemon rounding this thing out. 24 cars, 30 laps. Feature number 2. For the Netcode Esports Mighty Midget Series Sim Racing Associates season opener from Lernerville.
Green flag.
All right, green flag in the air. They already shuffled things up. When they come around, we're getting into something. Looks like Miles Jansen is going to be out in front here.
All right, man. Caution is out.
And caution, not sure who that's for. I think somebody just got a little turnaround, maybe Gerlach. Let's go back and see if it was Gerlach. In about the 5th spot right here, goes into the corner, kind of got the car a little out of shape, backed it up to keep it straight. Little tippity tap, and he is going to end up moving that thing to the back of the field. Billy Barros off track and into the work area. So Barros not starting the season off for sure the way that he wants to, as he has had 2 really bad events tonight to start things out. But Jansen and Hayes 1 and 2. Lynn, Silby, Runkle, Brandon, McMillan, Laird. Watkins, Bombarquette, 10th place. 16 car, just hangs around 10th all night long. He has at least so far tonight.
Green, green, green.
Green flag back in the air. Miles Jansen. Big lead down the back stretch on the restart lap. Hayes trying to hold off Silby. Silby right along the bottom. Silby had the spot, half a car that time around. Last season, Craig Silby started the night off with a horrible run in race number 1 at Cedar Lake, and came back in the second feature and put a whooping on the guys. And he finished 3rd in the first one tonight. We'll see what he can do here. He can keep it up on the podium. Oh, there went Hayes out the side window. And Sean Hayes
All right, man. Caution is out.
Ooh, trying to come back on the track, and that will bring out our caution. Ryan Hodge having a problem. Let's go back and watch Hayes. Out of 3 and 4 this time down the front stretch. Battling with Sylvie. Gets it hot into 1 and 2. Right rear goes way over. Does not flip the car, amazingly enough, but right there. He was close enough to the track and he stopped. And cars were still coming, so. And I'm still trying to figure out what happened to Ryan Hodge. As Hodge is off track. And doesn't look like we're going to have a sweep tonight. So. So Ryan Hodge started deep in the field, has problems early. And that is going to open the door for 2 features, 2 winners to open the season. Jensen, Sylvie, Brandon, McMillan, Lynn, Laird, Runkle, Mumberket, Brochart, and House are the top 10 right now. We still have 25 laps to go in this thing. Green flag in the air. This time, Jansen trying to get away from Silby. Silby goes to the top side. Tebow, Brandon in third, and Brandon cruising around, stalking things out on the bottom. Looking for the opening. Trying not to let these two get too far away. And Silby is really keeping Jansen in check right here. He's keeping him really close. The slightest bobble, and he'll be all over him. Nate McMillan, better run in feature number 2 thus far, as he is hanging on to 4th, and he's got a pretty comfortable gap over Robert Lynn. Lynn doesn't have any kind of comfort, as he's got Laird and Brochart right behind. Here comes Laird to the top side. Brochart to the inside, contact and caution. The driver's still making contact a little further back in this thing because of that. Krikorian and I don't know who else are going to get into it. You saw what happened there with Lynn and Brochart. Oh, and then car a little bit slower, and Krikorian into the back of the slow car. So not much that he could do there. So we're going to go back to the front. Look at your leader, Miles Jensen. Lights off on the safety vehicle. Looks like we're getting ready to go back to green. Well, come back on. Lights back on. Drivers out of position near the back of the field right now. Looking at Dustin Mombarquette, he's off track. He was running inside the top 8. Borst, Hodge, Barrow, Steele, Lemon all joining him off the track. So only about 18 drivers still out here. As John Borst just rolled that 86 machine back out. He's right in front of Brochart right there. So now the lights go off. Ready to get back at it. Still 22 to go. Jansen on the restart and didn't get nearly as big a gap as he did the last restart. Here comes Silby off the top side. Man, Jansen opens it up on the bottom in 1 and 2. And that car just lurches up out of the corner. Side-by-side battle. Brandon and Silby. That's for second and third. Brandon able to use the bottom and get around Silby. McMillan
Caution is out.
had fallen in behind that. Let's go see if Casey Miller had a crash here. Miller. Up the hill. Yep, get a little bit of contact there. Not sure who that was with. Josh Gerlach got a piece of it. Oh, he's looking like he'll be done. Borst got a piece of it. Miller and I think Sean Hayes got together back there. Looks like the 21 car of Cameron Pritchard. Also off track, went to the pit area. Casey Miller also back there. So war of attrition in the feature number 2, 20 laps to go. Jansen, Silby, Brandon, McMillan, and Laird are the top 5 right now. Laird had a good run going early in feature number 1. It looks like whatever the problem was, he's got it righted. He's coming forward.
Green, green, green.
Get the green flag, go back to it. Biggest mover thus far, going to be right there. That tie-dyed machine of Jordan House up 15 spots since we dropped the green flag 11 laps ago. He's in the sixth spot right now, and he's working on J.D. Laird. Laird goes to the top side, and House gets a great run as Laird got the car a little cattywampus up there on the exit of 2. Lost his momentum. He'll fall back to the 6th spot, move House into the top 5. Still Jansen out in front. Silby, Brandon, 2nd and 3rd. Coming around, 16 to go this time by. McMillan is still 4th, but House is really starting to put the pressure on, and McMillan's going to be out of the way. 2 cars going by as House and Laird roll into 4th and 5th, and here goes Laird trying to get 4th, and he's got it. House got up the backside, and that's going to put him right back in Nate McMillan's clutches. Oh, there's a big mistake right there from Aaron Johnson. 360s for all. The cars are going to keep going. No caution. 14 laps to go, and now Jansen starting to get away from Silby out in front. 0.6 of a second is Silby. Tries to maintain a gap over Brandon. Get some composure and get back after Miles Jansen. Jansen really been strong about the last 3-4 months here on the sim, and he's been improving a little bit at a time before that, but he's really made some big strides since about October. Dominated over at DSRL in the 360 win car. He won that championship going away this past season. Silby trying to reel him in. He's cut a 10th off the last 2 laps. Opened up a couple of tenths on Tebow Brandon as Brandon is falling back to a very distant 3rd, but he's got a big cushion over Laird. Laird in 4th, and now Hayes, Runkle, and House are going at it for 5th.
All right, man.
Caution back out on the speedway. David Krikorian here, it looks like. The black and red car, the 66 machine, is going to have problems. Right rear up over the top. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. He's backwards down there. That's where you stop. You can't do that. That's close enough to the racing surface. They're going to recognize it. They're going to throw a yellow flag at you. So we're going to be down to about 10 to go with Jansen, Silby, Brandon, and Laird, the top four. Then Runkle, Hayes, House, Brochart, Wagner, and Robert Lynn. Rounding out the top 10, Watkins, Johnson, McMillan, Cox, Krikorian. Rounding out the top 15, John Bohr still on track, lap down. Dustin Bombarquette, couple of laps down. He's in 17th. Everybody else off track. So 17 on 15 on the lead lap. As they'll get ready to go back to green. Just 10 laps remaining. Green flag coming back out. Johnson got a good start. Looked like Silby a little out of shape. Got the car down the grass, but he's able to hang on to second. Brandon now's got company. Laird is right there. Battle for fifth and sixth. Runkle and Hayes going at it. Runkle moves to the middle. Hayes goes to the bottom. And they'll stay side by side as they swap lines. Here comes Jordan House. House found grip off the bottom of two, and he went 2 for 1 before we got to turn 3 as he slides up in front of Runkle. Hayes tried to go back behind House. Easy crossover, moves House to 5th. Contact up the hill. That was Runkle, and Runkle got into somebody way up top. Sean Hayes it was. As we're down to 6 to go, and Miles Jansen starting to gap Silby. He's out 7/10 right now, and Silby's got about 4/10 on Brandon. Closing laps, 5 to go. Here comes Brandon, put it in there pretty tough. Got on the binders and stayed out of the left side of Silby's car. He almost gave up the spot to J.D. Laird. Laird going to start to try to put the pressure on, see if he can force another mistake out of Brandon. Jansen really starting to get away here. Big gap now. Out of 3 and 4, 3 laps to go. Almost 9/10 of a second over Craig Silby, who's in second. Tebow Brandon, J.D. Laird battling for the third and final podium spot.
All right, man, caution is out.
Caution is going to slow the pace. Brady Wagner, Robert Lynn. Look like maybe they've gotten into it back here. Going to be down 1 and 2. A little wheel-to-wheel action, and you're going to park it right in front of. Watkins bringing the car up to the back of the field there. So it's just going to be about a 3-lap shootout now. And still Jansen, Silby, Brandon, Laird, and House the top 5. McMillan, Runkle, Brochart, Johnson, and Cox. Still 16 cars on the track. 15. Make it 14 on the lead lap. Borst a lap down. Well, I think our 2 or 3 lap down car has taken it to the pits, so we do only have 15. As Jansen's going to get us restarted. 2 laps to go. I thought Brandon was going to try to move Silby up the hill for a second. He got in there and he just didn't force the issue. So we'll come around. We're going to get the white flag. Miles Jansen down the backstretch for the final time into 3 and 4. It looks like he'll hang on and pick up the win in feature number 2. Silby up to second, and Brandon will come home in third. So a 2-3 finish this evening for Craig Silby, and he will probably leave here tonight with the lead in the points as the round 1 winner this evening finishes 21st tonight. So Tebow Brannon will get down here, and we will try to talk to him. Give these guys a moment to try to get into the booth. We had there's Tebow right there. Let's try to get him up here with us. Move to that waiting room. I know we had Sylvie. We'll see where we get Miles Jansen from. Is he in? Yeah, he's there too. So, going to get to talk to the top 3. Let's get Brandon in here. Mr. Brandon, got a copy?
I do have a copy. Do you have a copy?
I do. Big improvement over the first feature this evening. You're putting it on the podium in feature number 2. Tell us the difference.
Well, it wasn't too much of a difference. I felt like I got 4th and then 3rd. I mean, I guess talking to you is a big difference too. You know, I can't complain. I haven't really run any races in the last 6 weeks or so, and didn't really practice coming into tonight, so I didn't really have high expectations. And then I don't think anybody was expecting the kind of car count and the caliber of those drivers, especially in that first race. So I came out pretty pleased with a 4th place finish, and definitely pretty pleased with a 3rd place finish as well. I do have to do better though if I'm going to compete for a championship, which I do intend to do. I gotta do a little better than the guy who finished in front of me both races. So,
well, that's a tall order because that guy seems to find a way to get to the front in every one of these little midget races. We watched him do it in the last season that we had with all you guys, and he's just a tough customer. What does it take to get ahead of a guy like that?
I mean, it takes pretty much 30 perfect laps. It feels like I actually did briefly get past him, but I got caught back on a caution. So it would have been interesting to see what that would have looked like. I kind of would love to have another shot at that if I could hold him off, make my car kind of wide, and see if I could come home with a silver medal that time. But alas, wasn't to be. So 3rd place here I am.
Well, you know what they say. There's always next week. So we're going to look forward to seeing you back, see what you can do with the driver in the 7 car next week. Maybe get some different finishes on the podium. Give us some shout-outs, some thank yous, and we'll let you go celebrate a great night of racing.
Yeah, I'll thank Mighty Good Marketing, and I will thank Josh and Robert for putting on the league. It's a lot of fun racing with these guys, and thank you to yourself, Roger. Thanks for broadcasting.
No problem. A couple technical difficulties to get this one going in the 2nd feature, but we got it worked out. Congrats to you on a great night, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Roger.
Tebow Brannon finishing in 3rd tonight. Now, we talked to him after the first feature. He finishes 2nd, or he finishes 3rd. He comes in here in a valiant effort, but he comes up 1 spot short, still on the podium. The Kiwi Conqueror, Craig Silby. Short again, buddy. What's it going to take to get a win early in the season?
Oh, I'm just having so much fun racing. I don't care about winning. It's just I'm just enjoying the racing. That was a really, really tough battle. Like with the long gear ratio and this thing, it was really tough to stick the bottom because you just had to really work on keeping the momentum up. But Tebow just gave me hell that whole race. It was wild. I got real lucky with that yellow, and but I've been on the wrong side of that plenty of times. So yeah, it was good fun.
Well, it looked like the track was pretty racy, and I saw a lot of guys finding some grip out of turn 2 on the bottom, and you were trying to run the top. How are you able to hold them off, knowing that you got that, the difference in the gear ratio? I would have expected a longer gear. Keeping it wound up on the top side, you'd have got a lot bigger runs, but the guys on the bottom were doing something. Explain it if you can.
Yeah, I tried the top a couple of times, and the second time I tried it's when Tebow got past me. It was a bit treacherous up there. Like you could get some decent momentum, but like it was knife edge stuff, and so yeah, the bottom was a bit safer. So I just plugged my way around there and got to the podium.
Well, still an awesome night. I think with a third and a second, knowing that Hodge had a 21st place finish in the second feature, you're probably going to come out here with the points lead. That's got to be a pretty good feeling. I remember where you started last season at Cedar Lake with a horrible first race, crashed out of it, and then come back and picked up the win in the second one, I think, or finished second. I can't remember for sure. But this has got to be a way better start to the season for you.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the start of last season was, like you say, it was terrible. So I think it was a couple of meetings before I even 2 or 3 meetings before I got a win. But I finished the season real strong. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to the racing. I'm hoping the numbers stay up there and we get some decent battles throughout. And the whole point of this is for everyone to try and get better. So if we all get better together, then we all have more fun.
Well, an awesome night. Give us some more shout-outs, some thank yous, and we'll let you celebrate what has turned out to be a very good evening of racing.
Thanks, Roger. Thanks to the Dirt Racing Network for broadcasting, and to DL Lemon and Sim Racing Associates for helping out with that. Thanks to Netcode Esports for putting the whole series on. It's these guys. There's not a lot of better series. I don't know if there's any better series on iRacing at the moment that I'm involved with. These guys do it well, and looking forward to the next one. And congratulations to Miles. He held me off. He didn't put a foot wrong. It was great. He drove a great race. And thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks for chatting with us, Craig. We'll look forward to seeing you back next week. Craig Silby finishing second, and now guys starting to find a comfortable seat up here in the booth at the end of the night each and every week. Coming off picking up a championship on Monday. He wins feature number 2 tonight here with the Netcode Esports Mighty Midgets. Miles Jansen, what do you got to say, bud? You are on fire lately.
I don't know if I'd say on fire, but luck's definitely on our side right now, and Dean's got this car figured out. He's been helping me out. He helps me out more than I can say, and it's nice to finally start showing results.
Yeah, he definitely showed in the second one. You held off a tough customer, Craig Silby. He got close a few times. How close did you know he was? And was there ever a little bit of nerves that maybe the Kiwi might sneak by you?
Yeah, I kept hearing him get closer and closer. I'd make just a little bit of a mistake, and he'd check me on it. And I just knew that if I stayed on the bottom and stayed in the good stuff around the bottom, he would either have to move me out of the way or really rip the top. And I just kind of figured it would be too far around on the top, and I just knew if I held the bottom, I'd be all right, and it turned out I was right.
Well, a great run after the first feature, having to come in here and battle most of the same guys, and you really dominated this thing from start to finish. Give us some shout-outs, some thank yous, and we'll let you celebrate a fantastic win.
Yeah, I just got to thank Dean and Cameron at Dirty South Sim Racing and Box 3 Media, Ryback Companies, Lee Thomas Construction. They all do so much for me, and it's nice to finally start posting some result for the boys.
All right, man. Well, congrats on a great win, and we'll look to see if maybe next week you come in and try to sweep both races.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. You're a winner this evening in feature number 2. Miles Jansen. Quick look here. And we didn't do this after the first one, and we meant to, and I just forgot to click it because we were trying to get to the second server. But the official finishing order, Jansen, Silby, Brandon, top 3. House was 4th. Johnson 5th, Krikorian 6th, Brochart in 7th, McMillan 8th, Cox was 9th, and Robert Lynn rounded out the top 10. Wagner 11th, Runkle 12th, 13th to Laird, 14th was Watkins, 15th Borst, Hayes, and 16th Mombarquette. Hung around the top 8, top 10 for most of the race. Late in this one, he ends up dropping off and finishing 17th. Cameron Pritchard 18th, Casey Miller 19th, 20th Josh Gerlach, Ryan Hodge in 21st, Barros was 22nd, Thiel 23rd, and DL Lemon rounded out the field. 2 features, 2 different winners. We'll see if we can get a sweep next week, or maybe we'll have 4 races and 4 different winners in 2 weeks. But next Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, make sure. If you enjoyed the show tonight, guys, and we're sorry about the technical glitch to start this second show, I'm going to just say I must have fat-fingered that thing or something, and made it act up and put that screen right back up there. But you got to listen to the video, and that's really all I can say. You watched the radio live. But we got here for the feature. That's what's important. Got to see the big show. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We know you can watch this stuff anywhere you choose to watch it here with us. For Dominic Santina, Zach Krieger, and myself at the Dirt Racing Network, we appreciate every time you tune in. Be sure that you like, share, and follow on Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube, Twitch, and Trovo. You'll know every time we go live. And until we see you